Welcome to our first Wellbeing Workshop. Thank you so much for joining. So we're going to begin with an introduction and a bit of housekeeping. We'll explore an overview of wellbeing, and then we'll move into your wellbeing needs. We'll look at home practice, and then we'll close with any questions or queries. If you have any, do email them. So, wellbeing workshops, session 1. So these will be an occupational therapy-led session supporting you to live life well. Each topic we cover will be backed by research-based evidence to have a positive impact on your well-being, to inspire, inform, and engage. You'll have an opportunity to share your direct experience of the topics and learn from others within the live group and within the discussion space. Your stories and experiences may be exactly what another person needs to hear today to solve a problem or to seize an opportunity. You'll be introduced to new tools, ideas, and tips that promote well-being in everyday life. Small things can lead to big changes. We'll begin with a bit of background before moving into a discussion space around the topic. And when the class is over, you'll be sent the slides, any issues raised, and any additional resources. I'm able to offer email support weekdays 9 to 3:30, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, within reason if there's school holidays. I want you to remember that you are the expert of you and of your experiences. I'm providing you with information, but you know you best, and we're learning to listen to that. So occupational therapy. So I put baskets in there because we were known as the basket weavers in the olden days, and even now is what we're teased about. So occupational therapists are healthcare professionals who use a client-centered, collaborative approach, exploring with clients how, why, when, where, and what they participate in within their lives, what gives them meaning, value, and purpose, and what is getting in the way of living life fully. It's an activity-based therapy. It's a doing therapy. So the profession began around 100 years ago, over 100 years ago, with veterans of World War I. And those who engaged in activities as part of their rehabilitation did far better than those who were left on bed rest. So this was the people who were basket weaving and making stuffed bunnies and all sorts of different things like that. Most of the work will happen between the sessions. So you'll be given some home practices to try out in the week ahead. And if they don't serve you, you don't do them. That is information. That is also the work of understanding and exploring you taking care of your needs. So please take care of yourself within the sessions and attend to your needs. This is really important. If you need to move around, if you need to go to the toilet, if you need to have something to eat, if you need to have something to drink, do it. Okay, that's what's really important, that we're learning to take care of ourselves, listen to ourselves. So I'm Josephine. I'm an occupational therapist or ergotherapist based in the south of France. I've got over actually 23 years clinical experience in and around all areas of wellbeing. So I'm qualifying in at the University of Wales College of Medicine in 2000. I moved to London and worked in psychiatry, specialising in women's mental health, and then on to clinical service lead of a substance use support service. I then went on to train in mindfulness and compassion-focused therapy, which has become the bulk of my private work. And I run a very small atelier clinic here in the south of France, working primarily online. In 2016, in search of a simpler life, I moved to France with my husband and young family, and so far it has not disappointed. Privacy and confidentiality. As an occupational therapist, I am bound by strict rules regarding privacy and confidentiality. It is my duty of care to ensure that all reasonable steps are taken to ensure the health, safety, and welfare of any person involved in any activity for which I'm responsible. It is required by law that I protect confidential information, except where there is justifiable reason for disclosure, in which case I will raise my concerns with appropriate organisations. If this is in this instance, that would be my CSF point of contact. An example would be if a person takes ill in a session, or if they are in danger of harm, and I would speak to you before I contacted anybody. Within sessions, privacy and confidentiality is of utmost importance. So I'll be providing an accurate summary of sessions in a post-session email. I won't keep any notes outside of the session, and there won't be any follow-up unless specifically requested. If you need medical reports, things like that, do reach out, but that would be a separate piece of work. Privacy and confidentiality, your responsibilities. CSF have asked that we use initials only, that we use camera and audio at your discretion. You can communicate via the chat box available. What is said in the group stays in the group, and be mindful of what you share in relation to your personal information. Taking care of yourself, and that includes the information that you share about yourself. I don't want you to leave the sessions feeling uncomfortable about anything that you've said, but likewise, we're a group and we're holding space to listen and to share and to be respectful, and that's why we're all here. This human connection, that we can share this experience together, and that you're not alone. So, the basics of well-being. What is it? Okay, so according to the World Health Forum Glossary of Terms 2021, well-being is a positive state experienced by individuals and societies. Similar to health, it is a resource for daily life and is determined by social, economic, and environmental conditions. Well-being encompasses quality of life and the ability of people and societies to contribute to the world with a sense of meaning and purpose. Focusing on well-being supports the tracking of the equitable distribution of resources, overall thriving and sustainability. A society's well-being can be determined by the extent to which they are resilient, build capacity for action, and are prepared to transcend challenges. So Maslow's hierarchy of needs beautifully demonstrates needs and their importance. So at the bottom, we have physiological needs of food, water, warmth, and rest, security and safety. If we have our basic needs met, then we can reach our psychological needs of esteem, prestige, feelings of accomplishment, belongingness, and love needs, intimate relationships, our friends. And then above that, once we have our psychological needs, then we can move into self-actualization, our self-fulfillment needs, achieving one's potential, including creative activities. So this is where overall well-being is kind of the pinnacle, when we have all of these others. And if we don't have these building blocks, then we need to find ways to get them in place so that we can feel well and live life well with what we have and where we are. Balancing you. A balanced life means making the time to do the things you want to do and balancing it with the things you must do for your health and emotional well-being. Creating a harmonious and balanced life can consist of many individual factors, such as spending time with family and friends, volunteering, and engaging in a favourite hobby or pastime to maintain the other key responsibilities in your life. And here's a story of two wolves, a Cherokee proverb. An old Cherokee told his grandson, "My son, there is a battle between two wolves inside us all. One is evil. It is anger, envy, jealousy, sorrow, regret, greed, arrogance, self-pity, guilt, resentment, inferiority, lies, false pride, superiority, and ego. The other is good. It is joy, peace, love, hope, serenity, humility, kindness, benevolence, generosity, empathy, and truth." The grandson thought about this for a minute and then asked his grandfather, "Which wolf wins?" The old Cherokee simply replied, "The one you feed." So we're looking at balance. We're all of these things. And when we're experiencing these emotions that are considered negative, it's information, and this informs this balance of what we need to have in place to not feel angry or to not feel self-pity or guilt, and so that we can move into a space of feeling joyful, of feeling loved and at peace. Now, one of the ways that we're going to be exploring this is through our neuroplasticity. So this is our brain's ability to rewire itself and build grey matter to support our well-being. And neuroplasticity helps you change at any age. Your brain is incredible. You are an incredible, resilient, brilliant and bright person, or you would not be able to be here today within these sessions. So whether you believe it or not, I am holding that in that you are. Now, as part of your incredible and magnificent system, you have in your brain something that's called the reticular activation system. So this processes our sensory experience. So this is touch, taste, smell, sight, and sound. This goes into this part of the brain, and then it is a filter for how we see the world. We can use it to our advantage, or we can use it to our disadvantage. You will be presented with around 10 million pieces of information at any one time: colors, shapes, textures, where things are, shadows. Your brain can make sense of them. It's an incredible tool. And there are some things that we can do to help ourselves and how we see the world. So it controls sleeping, waking, and attention. It's an incredibly sophisticated filter. It screens out the junk, or it can screen in the junk as well. So I give this example often. In France, when you're walking around, you will find dog poo on the streets if you look for it. So you can spend your time looking out for it, or you can look up and look at the beautiful buildings, look at the blue sky, look at the shutters, look at the nature that's around you. Even in the center of many towns, you'll find beautiful things to be looking at, beautiful architecture. And this is where that reticular activation system is filtering. So you can train it to yes, the poo is there, it's always going to be there, but there's all of this other stuff, and this is more important. So you can tell your brain that that's more important to you. So it acts like an executive assistant. So this is where we can train it and tell it what to do. It allows you to focus on what you value. It allows you to perceive a threat, and it supports you when you set goals. So this is where we can feel threatened and be looking for threat unintentionally, which has a massive impact on our well-being. But it's important. We need to be taking care of ourselves and protecting ourselves as well. So we need to listen to that and pay attention. It's one of the things that we'll explore within our sessions. So to begin with, I'm just going to give you some topics as food for thought. These could be ideas that we explore. So strategies to mitigate the impact of stress on daily life. Creating new strategies and routines to build emotional, physical, and mental resilience to the challenges of daily life. Crisis management. Managing the impact that changes in health have on day-to-day functioning and supporting you to maintain activities most important to you. Fatigue management, energy conservation through task modification, pacing, and task prioritization. Sleep hygiene, pain management, exploration of the impact of the changes that have taken place for a person, such as self-image, identity, roles, and relationships. Therapeutic activities, based exercises supporting emotional, physical, and mental strength and flexibility, looking at routines, supporting you how to cope with the impacts of daily life when you're experiencing challenges. So let's have a look at your well-being. So I'm going to go through a few more slides, and I'm going to ask you to pause between each one and write down your responses. To begin with, an invitation to write down 5 things that you are good at. These might not necessarily be things that you enjoy. I'm very good at tidying and cleaning, feeding everybody, but I don't like it. I'm very good at them. I'm also good at running. I can't do that very often because of my knees, and I'm very good at reading. So, an invitation to pause before moving on to the next one. How often do you do them? So as an example, in this instance, I wrote, well, feeding, tidying and taking care of people, I do them all of the time and they're exhausting. Reading, I do that regularly, and running, I don't do that very often because it hurts my knees. So having to think about how often you do the things that you are good at, these things that give you a sense of mastery, even if you don't necessarily like them, they might be important. Like feeding your family. So press pause. Now I want you to name 5 things that you enjoy doing. So I've written down ballet, reading, going to art galleries, making collages and massages. I'm pressing pause and writing down the 5 things that you enjoy. Why do you enjoy doing them? So I've written for ballet, escapism. It's beautiful. For my posture. Notice I didn't put it in the things that I'm good at. I'm a beginner. So I'm in a beginner ballet class. Reading, I like it for education and escapism. Art galleries, education, I feel nourished when I've been to them. And collages, I find them relaxing. I feel like I lose time and it's soothing. And massages, again, relaxing, soothing. And I love the smell of the oils that are used. So press pause, write down why you enjoy doing the things that you do. And I want you to have a think about, are you doing them now? If so, how often? And if not, why not? So ballet, yes, do that once a week. Reading, yes, do that every day. Art galleries, no, I don't do that very often. They're difficult to get to. It requires a large amount of time. So no, I don't get to do that very often. Collages, I do them regularly, but they make a lot of mess and they require a lot of time. So I don't maybe do them as often as I would. Massages are expensive, require time away. And again, yeah, I'd like to do them more often than I do, but I can't afford them. Pressing pause, filling in yours. And now I want you to have a look at what does living life well look like for you. So for me, it is working, feeling productive. I find it energizing and rejuvenating and using my brain. I enjoy being with my family and going on trips with them. I love reading. I love being out in the nature here. I love dressing up and matching my accessories and having fun, being playful, putting red lipstick on. I also love my new pink chair. It has changed my experience of my house because now I like going in my lounge, which had before been a den for the boys. Now I've moved some furniture around, I put an object in, it makes me feel like I want to be in there, and I am. And therefore, as a result, we're spending more time together as a family. What does living well look like to you? So having a pause and jotting down some words. If you like Pinterest, you could go on Pinterest and pin some things, make yourself a little collage like that. Press pause. And what is getting in the way? So this is going to lead us into exploring what topics we cover over the following few sessions. We've looked at what matters to you. We looked at what you value, what you're looking for, what the reason behind you engaging in these activities are, the education, the relaxing, the soothing. What's stopping you from living your life the way you would like it? What matters? What are the barriers? So pressing pause. And here are a few suggestions that I thought of if you need a few prompts. I'm anxious about the future. I'm not getting enough sleep. I'm in pain. I have to organise everything around medical appointments and feel trapped. I don't have the money. I don't want to do it on my own. I'm just so tired. I can't access the facilities because they don't have the adaptations that I need. What topics shall we cover? So we have already explored a few topics, including prioritizing, managing energy, managing the diary, coping with reduced physical capacity and pain, physical ability, reduced time due to impact of fatigue, need the balancing priorities versus needs, and this feeling guilty about not being busy, and impact on sleep. So emotional response and strategies, all sorts of things that we could be exploring over the next few weeks. If there's anything else that you would like to be exploring, let me know. To close, I'm going to give you your home practice. So this is a simple prescription of activities for the coming week. They're an invitation and you can say no. The first one on the list is I want you to jot down an average day. So using the activity sheet as a guide, note down all the activities you do on an average day, noting next to each one whether it was neutral, nourishing, or depleting. The activities may be a mixture of responses. Be an impartial witness to yourself. We're gathering information at this stage. So this is what the tool will look like. And this is an example of it filled in. So, got up and made a coffee. That was depleting. I'm tired, but nourishing because the coffee made me feel good. I had a shower. That was nourishing. I checked my phone. That was neutral to depleting. Probably shouldn't have done that. Left for work. Didn't have time to eat. Depleting. Should have left more time. Worked. Neutral. Meeting. Depleting. Worked. Neutral. Oh no, I said work nourishing there. It was nourishing, yes. We get a lot of satisfaction from our work. Oh, then I got a neutral for that pot. Went to the cinema, that was nourishing. Meal out, that was nourishing. Went home, sat down, watched Netflix, too tired, didn't go to bed early enough, had too much screen, couldn't get to sleep. So that was depleting. After the meal out, should have come home, had a bath, read a book, and gone to bed. Nobody's perfect, so we're looking for balance here. The key is you should be finding most of your day neutral, but that doesn't mean it's not nourishing either. Our life is full of mundane activities that are extraordinary. The fact that we can brush our teeth without having to think about it, that we can drive in a car and know exactly what to do without having to think about it. That's still new to me because I've had my driving license only a short time. But I'm like, wow, that people can do this without thinking. Incredible. Okay, the second activity is a wellbeing appointment. So I want you to carve out a specific time and day to do something for your well-being, non-negotiable, like the dental appointment you can't miss. A cup of tea with a good book, a massage, writing a long letter or email to a beloved. Maybe some of the things that you wrote in your list of the things that you enjoy doing, that you're not doing, picking one of them. And, bearing in mind time constraints, a nourishing well-being appointment. And then the final prescription is the square breathing technique. So this is the breath in for 4 counts, holding for 4, breathing out for 4 counts, and holding for 4. Now the beauty of this is it's available for us at any moment because there are squares everywhere. So when we're at the doctor's, we can follow a poster around if we're feeling nervous. But the idea is that you're doing this every day as a sort of non-negotiable, so to speak, like having a practice of this every day, once a day. You could be in the bathroom around the mirror, could be watching telly, having a go. So let's do it together. Breathing in for 4, holding for 4, breathing out for 4. Breathing in for 4, hold for 4, breathe out for 4, hold for 4. Gets confusing wording it, so let's do it in quiet together. Now I'm going to suggest 5 breaths, with 5 minutes being the chef's kiss of the experience. This activates your parasympathetic nervous system, which moves you into rest and restore, allowing you to digest and recover, and your body can do all the good things that it needs to do. When we are not using our parasympathetic nervous system, we're in our sympathetic nervous system, which is fight, flight, freeze. That is, that we're under threat. This is where we experience anxiety, hearts racing, and this is where we think that there's a lion in the room. That's what our brain thinks, and this is what it's telling our body, that we're in danger. This is a very useful and important system, but it's in overdrive. Okay, so this is one of the ways of soothing ourselves and doing some brain rewiring. So it's a little bit of a workout for your brain. So giving that a go. So there it is. An average day, a wellbeing appointment, and the square breathing technique. Giving it a go. If you don't find these activities helpful, then you are welcome to say no. This is really important. If any of these things don't suit you, that's information for your well-being. So note it down. I didn't do it. I didn't want to do it. It felt like another piece of paperwork to fill in, and I don't need that right now. Fantastic. That's a boundary. That's a limit. That's where you're putting your foot down. So I don't want anything to feel like it's a burden. That's really important. So without further ado, I will look forward to seeing you next week, and do let me know how you get on. If you've got any questions or queries, you know where I am, and I'll do my best to answer anything. Okay, take care.